Presented by Wearable Fandom. Welcome to Wear Mighty Things. My name is Dustin, and I am your host. This is the podcast about the Roosevelt's brand and community. Fandom, fashion, and friends is what we're all about here on Wear Mighty Things. And if that sounds like fun, you came to the right place. I want to remind everybody that you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and to receive all of our content updates, please drop us a subscribe, ring the bell and notifications so that you get all of our notifications of new content as they release. If you've got any thoughts and want to reach out, communicate to us, or complain about the show, email them to wearablefandom@gmail.com. It is fantastic to be back with you guys. The one thing keeping me grounded is my amazing co-host, John Madigan. Hey, John Madigan, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you, buddy. How you doing?
We're doing great,
man.
It's fine.
We're just talking over each other these days, aren't we?
It's Clash of the Champions. That's what it is. Because you're a champ.
And you are too, my friend. Aww. I'm doing great though, man. I'm always blessed and grateful to be back with you on the podcast. And where'd the background go? That's it. You're back in California, Dustin. Oh my God. We're at 65 and sunny.
I know it is 65 and sunny. You know what? I should have just left that on there as like that I'm in Antarctica. But just for those folks who are wondering, we pre-recorded this podcast, one, because we had a fun topic and had access to a few interesting guests that we'll introduce in just a few moments. But we wanted to make sure that we weren't missing out on content. So while I'm away on holiday, we still have an episode of Wear Mighty Things just for you guys. So hope you appreciate and enjoy it. And John, it's a very special episode. It's something that I think is near and dear to many a Roosevelt insider's heart, and that is the composition of outfits. And I'll be honest, John, I don't feel so confident about how I put things together. Do you feel like you're an expert on composing an outfit?
10 out of 10. No, I'm just playing. No, I am not. I am definitely not an expert. No, I would definitely say that I'm not an expert, and I think there are some fantastic people in the group who are experts and who do get it right and who have put together some amazing outfits in various different forms and ways that I've never seen before, but it gives me tons of ideas and things that I wish that I was doing. And I think it's important that we talk to some of those individuals so we can, not only can we learn, but our listeners can learn as well.
What a wonderful transition, Mark. So we've invited Jocelyn Israel and Ron DePody to come on the podcast, two very, very awesome insiders who have been around for a long time. They also have been great supporters of the channel and Wear Mighty Things and Wearable Fandom. They're always in the comments. They're always resharing things. If you want to get on the podcast, try to be like Ron and Jocelyn and share our episodes, and maybe we'll have a spot just for you. But
just send me $20 and I'll talk to Dustin. We'll make it happen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And yeah, I'll take 10, you take 10, and and you'll be on for 10 minutes, maybe max. Yeah, we'll see.
There's a thought. That's a thought. That's your brain working.
It's a possibility, right? It's 10 for 10, right? 10 to you, 10 to me, 10 minutes. We'll see. We recorded an interview with Ron and Jocelyn to talk about outfits. And as some of the more prominent and creative members of the Roosevelt's community who are great at making ensemble, we wanted to talk to them about some of their tips just for you guys. So let's get on with the interview. All right. We're here with our two very special guests on this episode of Wear Mighty Things. We've got Jocelyn Israel and Ron DePody. Welcome to Wear Mighty Things, friends.
Hey, hi, friends. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Now, I know you guys are familiar in the Roosevelt's insider community, but can I ask you guys just to talk a little bit about your history with the brand and just say some fun things about yourself? We'll start with Jocelyn.
I think I started in insiders in 2019 or 2020. So it's been a little bit. I was first searching on Google for WWE shirts as a gift for someone, and that's how I found the brand. And then I eventually started buying for me because I just thought, wow, these are really cool. So yeah, and just met a lot of friends in the group and started going to meetups and all that stuff, and, have made a couple things. And so it's been a really good time.
Outstanding. Well, welcome. And Ron, please tell the people about yourself.
Well, that's awesome that Jocelyn got in because of WWE, because that's how I got in. It was 2019, and I mean, it was one of those Facebook ads on the side where they had Stone Cold Steve Austin and Ultimate Warrior shirts, and I thought that we were pretty sweet. And I work at a job where you need a collared shirt, and I hate just plain. And I was like, I'll give these a shot. Ordered my first couple shirts. You get that invite to insiders and start going down the rabbit hole. Really got involved, interacting with people through the weight loss group that Aaron and Nicole run, and have made lots of friends and support system there. And then,
Oh, check that out. Oh, she's
yeah,
repping
exactly.
Nice
and even
shirt.
more so, recently have gotten, kind of more ingrained in some of the subgroups, the wrestling group and whatnot, and finally have kind of stepped out of being a passive watch everybody else post and interact, and have gotten more into interacting and being involved. And I haven't made it to a meetup yet, but actually tonight I'm hosting the first Colorado mini meetup out here, and trying to get a group of, we call ourselves the Colorado Kunu Club, and
Nice.
try to get a little going, kind of like with Jacksonville where they have the monthly meetup. That's kind of my goals.
Wow, amazing. Well, thank you guys, and welcome. Now, John, as we explained in the intro.
Oh, do you need me to introduce myself as well?
No. People know you. Now, what we talked about in the intro and the lead up is outfits, and I think
Yes.
we've talked. You and I talked a lot about folks who would make a great conversation about the topic of assembling an outfit.
We did, and when they couldn't make it, we asked these guys.
I figured
I knew I couldn't have been top of that list.
Dang it!
Now, John, no revealing behind the curtain secrets of things. Right? You're making our guest feel bad. Come on. But we noticed both of you had done a tremendous amount of work in either creating an ensemble or participating in some of the groups where people show some of those things off. And so we would really like to pick your brain and try to understand for, just, schlubs like Madigan and myself, how can we actually improve our approach when it comes to building an outfit or trying to match and kind of coordinate our ideas. And so I'd like to just start off and ask you guys a little bit about your mental thought process. Like, do you start with an idea? I want to do a Ghostbusters outfit and then just work from there? Or do you just organically go, I like this shirt, and try to build something around that?
I was thinking about this, and generally, so I was posting a lot of selfies, in the pandemic, as everyone was. And someone would say, hey, let's do this shirt tomorrow, or have theme days. Like, I remember we were doing Toy Story Tuesday or Thursday for a bit, Mando Monday, that kind of thing. So sometimes it would start with that. Somebody, or I would pick a shirt and try and base the outfit around that. So either that, or for instance, with this outfit today, I knew I wanted to wear my Swolesabelts Mania tank top. And so I thought, what shirt would go with that? Obviously, Beverly Hills, that has all the same colors. So my first thought is always to go with a solid color. So if you just want to pick the main color of the shirt, and I like to do the solid color jeggings, the leggings that are styled as jeans. So I found a brand on Amazon that just has all these different colored jeggings. So I would either pick the main color of the shirt, try and match it with some leggings, or I like to also do the accent color of the shirt for something a little bit different. And then again, choose a solid color. Some other things come into this though, like the season or the weather. So if you don't want to do, long pants, you could, ladies or whoever can do a solid color skirt if you want, is another way to easily put together an outfit. Or I know a lot of the guys maybe don't want to spend a lot of money on all these different colored shorts or pants. So if you want to just go with white or black or khaki or some neutral color just to start out, I feel like that's an easy way to just get started.
That's awesome. Before we go over to you, Ron, just because I want to make sure, some of these designs are pretty crazy. I mean, just looking at the shirts you guys are wearing right now, if we look at Ron's shirt, this is the mall marking shirt from last just before San Diego Comic-Con last year. what is the main color of this shirt? And I'm not trying to be like, a schmuck about this, but
I
like
mean, I would say red, in
it
my
looks
opinion.
red, right? But there's
Yes.
there's three colors that probably are pretty close to equal distribution, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just how it's so red would be the core color that you would be like considering to match with. What
Hmm.
would be the accent color here? Would you say it's the
I
red
I
or
would say it's yellow because, and
yellow?
I love yellow. I love when yellow's just sprinkled onto a shirt like that. So I would probably go with maybe yellow pants for that.
Okay,
But you could do black too if you wanted.
And
excellent.
I'm actually wearing black jeans right now. I go the other way, where
I
me,
love it.
We didn't
it's the
even
red and black. Yeah.
coordinate this red. Like
Wow.
that's kind of crazy.
Amazing. Well, Ron, same question to you. Like when you're thinking about putting something together, what's your approach?
It's funny because mine probably is actually a lot less thought than you would think, and it all started like I've always kind of been OCD, and my collection started with jerseys, and it would drive me crazy when somebody would wear a sports jersey of a team, but then wear some other team's hat because that was all they had. So when I started collecting jerseys, well, then I had to have the matching hat to go with that team because I didn't want to wear, a Yankees jersey but a Mets cap or whatever, the faux pas in my mind. So I started there. In high school, I added things like I would match. I had my ears pierced, and so I would match the earrings that I was wearing to the jersey.
Yes.
So as a Packer fan, I would have like the Packer logo in my ear, and the hoop would be the same color green as the jersey. And
Wow.
so it
You've
was
been
always
doing this a long time.
so that was how I started, and then as I moved into Roosevelt's and those kind of shirts, I mean, really, it's okay. This is a Darth Maul Star Wars shirt, so I need to make sure that I have Darth Maul Star Wars pretty much everything. And so I
Ah,
start with the shirt, what the colors are of the shirt, what the theme of the shirt is. The very first thing I look at after that is, okay, do I have a hat that goes with that? And if I don't, then I get online and I'm searching to find the hat. And those are my primary two. If I've got that, I feel like I've got a good set. And then I expand from there. And the next step after that is, well, what shoes do I have that match that? Do I have ones that are black and red? Do I actually have ones that are Star Wars? Do I have ones that are Darth Maul? The ones I'm actually wearing right now are actually the Nike Vapor Max 2 Darth Mauls. So they are black and red and Darth Maul all at the same time. And then I'll add on from there with socks, especially during the summer where people will see your socks. I try to have matching socks, so I've got matching Darth Maul socks. And
wow.
if it's a day that I'm going to
Wow.
have the shirt open, then I have a matching undershirt, and no doubt I've got a Darth Maul shirt on underneath this.
That is the other thing with the weather. If you want to wear it open, make sure that the shirt you're wearing underneath matches. And I haven't gotten into the socks and shoes yet. That is next level.
That's
I give you
next.
credit for that for sure.
Well, I did want to ask you guys because right now we can all speak for Roosevelt's that we're all wearing kind of funky colors and loud patterns and designs and whatnot that are kind of all over the place and definitely draw attention. But I'm a little curious to know, just based on a personal level, what was your closet looking like before you got involved in Roosevelt's? Like, was this kind of something that was going into a direction? Like, you guys were kind of already into like funky patterns and colors and things like that. You just haven't found like a dedicated brand for it, or was this did this kind of like unlock something in your head? Was this something brand new for you?
That's a really good question. So it's funny you asked that because when I was searching for photos to send you guys of cool outfits, I just put in dress into my Google Photos and I found all these pictures that came up, of course, of it's not going to be Roosevelt's because they don't have dresses. And I was just like, oh my gosh, all the clothes I used to wear in the before times, before I got so committed to this brand.
BR
So
before Roosevelt's.
Yes, yes. So, I mean, as a lot of other people and insiders, like I am a collector of certain things. I have a ton of band shirts. So I was in a lot of like t-shirts with funny things on them. So I have a lot of that stuff. I feel like I just used to do solids before
Yeah.
because I didn't think that I could do patterns. And then when I found these, I thought like why can't I?
Right.
What is so special that I can't rock this? And I just kind of tried it. And that's something else to think about too when you're trying to mix patterns because sometimes it works. So you might as well just give it a shot. But yeah, I think it was a lot more like solid, darker colors.
Did it feel weird at first to kind of transition into, something that's kind of like different and louder and something that's definitely going to draw attention to you? Like people, you wear a Roosevelt shirt knowing, or you wear like your outfit, and people are going to look at this. People are going to notice, regardless if they say something or not.
Yeah, especially because it's a button down, and I always stayed away from button downs before because I could never find a cut that felt quite right, and the material just was never that great. And we all know that the kunus are silky and they feel nice, and even the men's cuts, are pretty good. The women's cuts fit me better, but I do still overall buy the men's cuts more often. But yeah, it was a big change for me.
Yeah. Ron, how about you? What were you wearing before Roosevelt's? BR.
Well, it all started for me with jerseys, and I've got a collection of jerseys that's ridiculous as well. I've got 860 jerseys, and I've got matching hats for just about all of them.
For what sports? What sport are you into?
Every sport: baseball, football, basketball, hockey, comic book characters. I've got 715 hats. So it's all over the place, right?
Wow.
So in my previous job, I worked in sports television. It was very easy to wear that all the time. Whatever. I mean, if you saw me without a jersey and a hat on, it was a weird day. And then I had a career change, and went from the ability to wear that to needing a collared shirt. And my first step was, kind of Nike polos and whatnot, and basic colors and patterns. And as somebody who was a bigger guy, and at the time was even bigger, sometimes those were a little bit too snug or revealing or whatnot, just the way that they sat. And I kind of started getting into button downs before Roosevelt's because I like to have that ability to, be able to unbutton and whatnot. And then found Roosevelt's, and for me, it was a way to have something that looks more office friendly and whatnot in the terms of a collar and buttons, but then still have personality to it. And I'm not just another blue or black shirt in the office. And so I went down the rabbit hole with it, and have pretty much taken over now. Whereas you used to, if you didn't see me in a jersey, it was weird. Now, if you don't see me in a Roosevelt's, it's weird. My neighbor's kids, those are Ron shirts, and like, that's just my style and who I've become. So it was kind of a funny transition, but then because of how I was with the jerseys and the matching hats, then I just kind of carried that over, where then it was like, all right, now how do I put it all together?
Amazing. Well, we want to keep this optimistic because this is an opportunity for people to grow and kind of learn from the both of you. It'd be interesting to maybe identify a few things that you see people do that probably should be reconsidered or avoided. Maybe we don't say it's necessarily don't do, but what are the kinds of things that are a net drag on the effectiveness of an outfit, or just things that you would warn people to be mindful of? Because I think when I see people clash, they have a completely different color hat from a shirt, and it's distracting. It actually takes away, detracts from the overall outfit that they're wearing. So any guidance that you would provide people on things to avoid, or things to make sure that you put your emphasis and focus on?
Well, and I think I would start exactly with what you just said, Dustin. Like, that's the one that always stands out to me. It's like when the shirt and hat are off, or you put so much time and effort into how good the shirt looks, but then the hat is clearly like you just wear that one every day, and that that always kind of drives me crazy. And it's like, yeah, you can find, you're wearing a Giants hat right now. You can buy those with the different colors and whatnot. Like New Era makes them in just about every color now, and so. Yeah, wear your team every day, but you can coordinate that way, and then it's pretty simple. And so that was definitely one that sticks out to me.
I'm not really sure what I would say to that one, because everyone's going to make it their own, so I don't really want to say don't do this or that. I mean, it does make more sense to my brain when you match certain colors and things, but yeah, I don't know what I would say as to like specifically don't do that.
Yeah, it's
And
a
I
it,
think that goes with you're one of those people, Jocelyn, who likes to kind of test those limits and edges, and you can find some things that work that maybe in other people's brains or minds that didn't. And it's something that I very much have always respected and liked about your style is
Oh,
that you are willing
thanks.
to mix and match and try some of those things that maybe at first glance somebody thinks doesn't work. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you try it out and you're like, oh yeah, that actually is a nice look.
Yeah. One of the things that I think of when you say that is the black and white checkers, because I have some black and white checkered. They're not Vans, but they're slip-on shoes. And I just tried them with, I think it was when I wore Miami Vice one time, and I wore that with these like a really good match of pink pants, and then put the black and white checkered shoes on, and I was like, this looks like it works for me. And somebody else might look at it and say, you're crazy mixing those two things, but I don't know. I think it looks cool.
there's something to be said about boldness and owning the look, regardless of
Mhm.
what you pick. And John made a great comment about the fact that people are wearing these crazy patterns and colors. Maybe that's a different way to think about it. Is both of you have talked about overcoming, either moving from band shirts or from jerseys to being
Mhm.
comfortable wearing kind of these wild colors. Maybe some thoughts or any impressions that you can share about kind of owning the look, because that goes a long way. And I definitely resonate with your comment, Jocelyn, about not telling people don'ts. Maybe don'ts is not the right framing, but if you're gonna make a bold choice, like what are some of the things that you can do to own that bold choice?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just be confident with it. Just own it. If you're making certain choices of things that you think look good together, just own it and rock it. If you love it, it'll show in your whole, in your look, in your face, and your probably in your personality. It'll just, if it makes you happy, people will be able to see that. So I would say just be confident is the
I'm
biggest thing.
100% with you on that, Jocelyn. I think
Yeah.
if you're unsure of the look, you probably shouldn't wear that look or that match because you're not going to feel confident out there and you're going to kind of hang your head and you're going to kind of question the interactions you have and be thinking about what the other person is thinking. But if you own the look and you really feel confident and feel good about it, you're going to kind of project that light. And then people are going to see that and be like, hey, that's a good look on you. That's a good, because it clearly is making you happy. And
Hmm.
and that just kind of throws that, sparks that out into the air around you.
I
Well,
agree.
that's awesome. So when you guys are putting together these looks and these outfits and these things that, I mean, for us in the Roosevelt Insiders community, I mean, we would kind of say it's normal because we see these things all the time consistently on our feed.
Yes.
But when we're not amongst other insiders and we're out in the real world, these are new ideas and new things that most people are seeing for the first time or they haven't seen in ever. Do you ever come across people who come up to you and they're just like, how do I get involved with what you're doing? How do I do what you're doing? Because I've never seen anything like this, and I want to be a part of this. Have you ever had that happen, or what kind of advice would you offer to people who kind of want to step out of their comfort zone and get into something that's kind of a little bit different?
For me, if I'm just out on my own, I don't normally get comments on my shirts. It seems to
Really?
happen more, yeah. It seems to happen more like once in a while, but it seems to happen more often if John Colonna and I go to a concert or something and we're wearing matching shirts, then they'll say something. We'll tell them about the brand sometimes, but and I don't know if it's just because, I'm a woman and I'm by myself and people don't want to come up and bother me or think it's going to come off weird or something like that. But yeah, it's not as often as when I'm with someone. And when we do mention the brand, sometimes they'll go to the website or whatever, but I don't think I've ever had someone specifically say like, how do I get involved in this? Cuz they won't know what it is. I mean, that they would basically just, I guess, like whatever shirt we have, and so we kind of try to go off of that. That would be amazing if someone did say that, though. I would be totally delighted.
Yeah, and usually my interactions, somebody very often somebody will just be nice shirt as they're walking by or whatever. But the bigger interactions I have, from time to time, like last weekend, I took my family to see the Back to the Future musical,
Oh yeah.
and I
Oh, how was
was
that?
I was It's great if you haven't seen it, and if you're a Back to the Future fan, totally worth it. Amazing show. My wife and I are actually going a second time this weekend.
Wow.
But yeah, so I was wearing one of the Back to the Future shirts and had a gentleman walk up to me and was like, "That's the perfect shirt for this. Where did you get that?" And then, it was before the show started. And so him and I talked for a couple minutes about, yeah, there's this great company that I buy a lot of pop culture type shirts from, Roosevelt's. And he actually like pulled up the site on his phone while we were talking. And I was like, be careful, my friend. It's a slippery slope, but it's totally worth it. But I mean, a lot of times when I have those interactions, it's because of something specific like that, because I'm wearing something kind of for the specific situation, and it'll stand out because how often are we were at Shrek the Musical, and I was wearing one of the Shrek shirts and had a similar interaction. And how often do people see that in those types of situations? So.
Mm-hmm. Well, John, also remember when we were at one of the Jersey meetups and we were all wearing bomb pops, and so many people that night were like, "What is this?" And we were telling them it was a cold. It was really funny.
Yeah, and that they only offer one
That's
shirt.
what my wife thinks it is.
And that they just had this one shirt.
That was it. It's the one shirt.
It's the uniform.
Nothing else.
It's the uniform.
It was great.
I'm drinking our Kool-Aid.
That is hilarious.
Oh, please.
Yeah. Well, now, just now for a tactical question for you guys. When you're thinking about putting together these looks, we've heard some of your thoughts and ideations, starting with some things or others. What are places that you could recommend for folks to look if they want to start assembling a look themselves? Obviously, if we're talking about we know where to get the Roosevelt shirts, right? So if you want a Roosevelt shirt or you want a Roosevelt's hat, fine. But if we're talking about tops, bottoms, shoes, belts, accessories, like what kinds of places would you encourage people to investigate?
I mean, I've had great luck with Amazon, unfortunately. I know it's bad, but it's so just shipping is quick and everything, and they have so many selections of stuff. Like I said, those jeggings that I have, I'm wearing the red ones right now.
Nice.
Oh, look at that.
They have 5 pockets. They're awesome. I got so many different colors on Amazon, and I've gotten like different belts from there too. Some of the wider belts, which another idea for ladies or whoever is, if you want to wear a Roosevelt's as a dress, just get a bigger size, put a wider belt on. I know our girl Kendall has done that before. It looks really great. But yeah, Amazon I think is my biggest resource for accessories. I've gotten earrings from there before, like little cherry blossom ones to go with cherry blossoms and all that stuff. So that would be my big tip. Also, it was helpful when Josh Albrecht was doing those hats in the summer, those charity hats, because he was very specifically doing designs that went with the shirts. So that was helpful.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, we spend so much on these shirts, right, to begin with. So you're dropping $65, $70, $80 on some of these. I then am amazingly frugal with the rest of it a lot of the time. So the first places I start is my family does a lot of thrifting. And so I'm looking at thrift sites, I'm looking at thrift stores, I'm on eBay. Goodwill actually has 2 of their own sites. One's a straight sale site, and one shopgoodwill.com is a auction style site like eBay, and I will look and see what's on there so that I can get it kind of underpriced and undervalue. And then if I'm kind of striking out there, then like Jocelyn, I'm going on Amazon, or I'm just kind of Googling so and so hat and just see what comes up. And sometimes it's from Mercari, or sometimes it's from Walmart or whatever.
Oh, that's another good tip. Mercari. I have gone on Mercari before too.
Yeah, so I'm just I kind of cast a wide net, and I see which ones pop up, and then I see where I can kind of get it at the best value and go from there.
So where do your ideas begin? Does it start with you have one piece and you're like, ooh, if we can do something with this or with that, that'd be cool? Or do you feel like you have an idea in your head of something you want to create from the get-go, and then you're like, well, how do we make this happen? And when you are working with Roosevelt's or just regular shirts or whatever, are you guys leaning more towards IPs, or are you leaning more towards like original designs?
Ron, you want to take this one?
I'm more of an IP person. I have a few originals, but for the most part, I'm in it for the WWE and the Star Wars and things like that. And I always start, whether it's the Roosevelt shirt or the T-shirt or whatever I'm wearing. I that's the base. That's the thing people are going to notice the most. So I start there, and then I kind of work top down. The hat is always my next piece. So do I have a hat that I already have that works with it? If yes, then I move on. If not, then it's all right. Where do I find one? And kind of depending on the IP or depending on the shirt, then it's how far do I want to take it. Star Wars is something I'm going to wear all the time. Darth Maul is my favorite character. I know that this shirt is going to get a lot of play, that this, outfit as a whole is going to get a lot of play. So then I'm going to go, all 5 layers deep. I'm going to do the shirt, I'm going to do the hat, I'm going to do the undershirt, I'm going to do the shoes. If it's one that I know that I'm only going to wear once a year or for a specific reason, then maybe it's just, I'm just going to get the hat and the shirt and we're good with that. And nobody's looking at my feet anyways will become the justification to stop me from going to the shoes.
I am more of an originals gal, especially the florals. I love, 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 love them. So yeah, usually it starts with the shirt for me. The other day, I wanted to wear that Napoleon Dynamite shirt, so I started with that and kind of built off of that. So since it's cold, I did the white turtleneck underneath the kunu, and then had the black and blue flannel on top, and then had that navy blue or just regular blue beanie with it. So that's how I kind of did that one. But yeah, usually starts with the shirt. But so many different factors come into it. Like I was saying, weather and things like that. If you want to go, pants or skirt, or if you want to do the flannel, or even, I mean, ladies have so many more options, I feel like,
You do.
especially with the whole,
We need more of those. We need more options.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm all for that. But like, if you want to go, more masculine look or a more femme look, you can do that. And I try and do that sometimes with the hats. So and it depends really how I'm feeling about my hair too. Cause I don't remember last time I had like a hat, cause I knew all you guys were going to be wearing hats. I like just washed it. So I didn't want to crush it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll just start with a hat maybe, or a more like just regular t-shirt underneath the kunu, and then have it just be more, I want to say covered up, but it's just a more mask look, because
Yeah.
I feel like with a flat brimmed hat kind of thing, so we kind of
Sure.
have
No,
more
no.
options.
I hear you. And Jocelyn, you in particular, you have gone out of your way and you've taken items and you've cut them and sewn them and put things together to make kind of new items that we've never seen before. And I think there's a lot of people out there that really like the idea of doing that, but they're maybe a little nervous to get started with that. And I'm sure before you started using items that you knew you were going to wear yourself, you probably took some time to practice and things. What would you use to practice and kind of like to get started before you go to the main event and make the thing that you want to wear for yourself? Where would you go to
Well,
find a kind of things if you mess up it's not that big of a deal?
Well, way back when, since I have so many band shirts, sometimes you might buy one that's too big. So I had kind of a lot of those that I was trying to decide, okay, if I want to practice, I might try altering one of those. And I had this couple different books, uh, 108 ways to transform a t-shirt kind of thing.
Yeah.
When I actually bought books for things like that, because now you can just go to YouTube, which is what I do. But yeah, I would
Of
try
course.
and, alter a band shirt or something, and start by just cutting off the sleeves and make it like a tube top or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, or I've made a long skirt before out of this Dave Matthews Band shirt that I got at a show
Mm.
forever ago. So you
Yeah.
can start that way. And also, just buying material from Joann's is pretty cheap. Just look for sales and things, and find a YouTube tutorial, and it's really, really easy. I'm a beginner, guys. Like, I'm not an expert. I'm not a seamstress at all. But if you take clothes that you already own that fit well and use them as a template, because I don't know how to make a pattern, someday I would love to get there, but I'm just not there yet. So if you use your own clothes that you know fit, kind of lay them on top of the material, kind of cut it out, sew up the sides. That's a really easy way to just get started with it and see if you like doing it, and then maybe you can branch out into other things.
Jocelyn, Ron, thank you guys for joining us. And, I think as regular viewers of our podcast, you guys know that we don't have a lot of guests on. And so we are going to start 2025 with a brand new segment called Ask the Hosts. And you guys are going to get to be the first participants to ask questions to myself and John Madigan, maybe even his dogs. If you have questions for his dogs, they're very talkative today. We're going to give you guys a few swings to ask us some questions.
John, how old are the puppies?
Oh, well, let me show you. Let me get them.
Oh my gosh.
I really just wanted to see the dogs again.
Ulterior
He's going to hold it up and he's going to go, Macy, is this many years old?
Hi, everyone. Okay. Well, so this is Mickey and Macy. This is a guest-filled episode. We now have 4 guests on our show. I love it. Okay, so this is Macy, and she's about 1.5, and this is Mickey, and he's about 3.
Oh my gosh, Mickey! I love
And so
you.
Mickey is a Chihuahua mixed with Jack Russell, and Macy is a Chihuahua mixed with a Yorkie.
They're so cute.
So I love them both. They love me.
Aw, yeah. I just licked my butt, Dad. I just licked my butt. Now it's on your face.
That's okay.
Worth it.
I love them
Worth
both.
it indeed.
Love them both so much. Do you guys have any pets?
No, I just love on other people's.
That's okay.
And
That's okay.
not currently. We used to have dogs. Once they passed and we had children, we found that it was just easier for the time being with the comings and goings of youth sports.
Yeah.
To kind of forego that part of our lives. But it's something that we all want. But when you have hockey tournaments and soccer tournaments that take you away for weekends at a time and whatnot, it's
a lot of responsibility.
It is. And that's 100%. The thing, is you have to see it as it that they are another member of the family that need their time and love and respect. And we never felt good just about leaving them behind and things like that. So while we've got this kind of down period without them, we just felt it was better to stay that way until we were at a point where we could give them the love and attention that they need.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right. My question for the two of you, I mean, to be honest, I've always thought that you guys are pretty good at your coordination and your guys' fits. When it comes to what you guys have in your closet, what's your favorite fit to put together?
For me, I am also a hat guy. And so I tend to have a decent number of color permutations of hats. Not probably as many as you do, Ron, but I will typically look for the shirt. And this, there are a lot of Roosevelt shirts that are in this shade or, plus or minus this blue hue. The blue backfield, this light blue backfield is very common, a very common color in a lot of the Roosevelts. And if you go on to See Mighty Things, you can actually filter by the color elements in the shirts. And you can see there's just a huge disproportionate percentage of shirts that are blue. I guess they sell better, but they also, in my opinion, look better on me. And I have the matching kind of hats and framing. So I tend to look to those backfield colors, that primary color, and then look to accessorize it from there. Usually when you see me at work, it's kind of funny because here it's even in the summer when you guys are sweltering, I know it's freezing where most of you are. I'm still wearing a hoodie in the middle of the summer here because it's 55 in the morning. And so you need something. So I usually will have a hoodie over it. And the hoodie usually is not a good match. This is one of the things I'm actually going to work on this year is to kind of improve the outer vestments, if you will. But otherwise, it's usually dark jeans, one of these kind of colors, and then a hat as an accent. And then very recently, I just got these pair of glasses. So, these are like these, for those who haven't seen them, this is like a little magnetic thing that just clips right on the top of your glasses and they don't kind of fall off. Yeah, they're like little toppers.
I have thought about getting those, but I know that if I started, I would have way too many.
Yes. And I mean, to be honest, This piece of plastic is like $20. And so I'm going to be looking at ways that I can 3D print and make them
I was
myself.
just gonna say that.
Exactly.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
So
and
Do
that's
you have a
something that
3D
I warn
printer?
my wife about all the time is she's always, with the how far will you take it kind of thing. It's like, you're lucky, like I could start getting the matching sunglasses. I could start
yes.
matching my pants, like matching the jackets, be thankful that I have kind of a cutoff right now. Because once I open up that Pandora's box, like we know I'll
Exactly.
go all in.
Yeah. Go ahead,
I'm
John.
glad that,
Well-
Dustin, I'm glad you said about the teal, because that was actually one of the things I was thinking when I was trying to go through my process. There are a lot of shirts that have the teal or the minty color. So that would be a good, maybe take a look at your shirts, see if there's a common color that might go with a lot of them, would be a good place to start for certain people that are
Yeah.
trying to figure things out.
If a Roosevelt shirt has this core color, I almost certainly am going to buy it. Like it's almost a given, unless it's something offensive to me, and I haven't seen an offensive shirt yet. So
It's a pleasant color.
yeah, John, go ahead.
So, Ron, I appreciate you saying that you feel like I'm color coordinated. So, fun fact about me that not a lot of people know is that I'm actually colorblind. So, so a lot of times I don't know what the actual color of certain things are. I don't see in black and white. Nobody sees black and white. Best way to explain it is that you have 50 shades of red out. I can see maybe 2 of those shades. Like everything kind of looks the same to me. You can see all 50 shades though. So I appreciate that a lot. As guys, we're simple. I have a lot of the flat brim hats. I love the flat brim hats. I feel like it definitely adds to the look, especially with my dark glasses. Like I have kind of like these big, like oversized glasses, and I kind of think that adds to the general overall look in my face. If I'm looking to wear something specific, if I'm going to MegaCon, like, and we're gonna be doing Disney and stuff, like I'm gonna be wearing all Disney. I'm gonna be doing, I'm very event specific, just like you had mentioned when you go to Back to the Future, or Shrek on Broadway, you're wearing shirts and related to that. So that's a big thing for me. If we're doing something specific that's related to that day, that I try to gravitate towards something like that. And I think you can always kind of get by, at least as a guy, I think you can always kind of get by with like a dark pair of jeans. So like I'm wearing black jeans right now, but I have a black jeans. I have like a dark navy, and then I also have a lighter pair of jeans as well, just for those lighter days. But I think the hybrid shorts also make it easy. Like I love when Roosevelt has a tux already put together for you. And the one thing I want to get into, but I haven't yet because it's just so damn expensive. And you see what happens when you get into something, it multiplies in your closet, which is certainly why sometimes I have not allowed myself to get involved. Like when Funko was coming out, I purposely did not buy any Funko. I noticed a lot behind you, Ron. I let myself not get involved in that because I knew I would have 400 Funkos. Like that would just
Me
be
too. I
Right,
only have two. I have 2. That's it. Just 2, and they were both gifts.
Yes, the ones that I have only been gifted. I have maybe less than 10 that have been gifted to me that I still
Yeah.
hold on to, but I refuse to allow myself to get into it. But I really would love to get into the sneakers. I would love to get into having like a whole sneaker wall, which I kind of also see. Ron, you get into a lot of stuff, man. What do you do again for a living? I need your job.
It's the OCD. I mean, it's collective personality, and
It has
Right.
to
I mean,
match.
when I start on something, I go all in, and even like if I take up a new sport or activity, like I'm immediately the guy who has to buy like I started playing darts at one of our breweries nearby to get out for an evening with the guys, and immediately like have to go buy the new set of darts and things like that, and
Yeah.
I always get down the slope pretty fast. The one thing I haven't done, you mentioned the tuxes. I have not gotten a tux yet, and my boys make fun of me about this because they already have their own tuxes. But I don't like the shorts without having the fly, and so I just
I see. Yeah.
haven't done it yet. So, but I'm sure it's going to happen at some point. And again, that just leads to the slippery slope of then I'm going to have to buy them all.
I can't believe
Sure,
I
and-
have more tuxes than you.
No, with the pants and shorts, I'm very basic. Dark jeans, black jeans, like you said, khakis, things like that. Like my
Nothing-
pants and
nothing
shorts are
wrong with
usually
it.
generally pretty simple compared to the rest
Yeah.
of the fit.
Interesting.
The tux
And
is a
Ron-
bold move.
Ron, how many pairs of sneakers? Because I can just see a little window right there, but it looks like you have a
I mean,
lot
what
of
you're
sneakers,
seeing
my
here
friend.
is mostly my Reebok part of my collection. It's my Shaqs and my Kamikazes. I actually have 133 pairs of shoes right now.
Oh my goodness gracious!
And they've kind of taken over, and I've got them. They're all kind of, it's organized chaos to me. I group things by brand. I've got, all my character-based shoes are actually just laying in front of my dresser behind me right now. Even my closet is in order of, the jerseys are by sport, then by team, then numerical by player on that team. So I'm very organized. There's just a lot of it.
What does
Ron,
this look like when you're trying to go away? Okay.
Dustin's
telling me to shut the fuck up. So
yes, I'm politely telling you it's time to move on. So, Ron, Jocelyn, thank you guys so much for your time today. It's been really fun having you on the podcast, and thank you for being great members of the Insider community. It's just really awesome to have some folks here, someone else to talk to other than John for a change. So, really appreciate having you.
Thanks for having us on.
Definitely. Thanks for the invite. I'm
Thank you
flattered
guys
and
so
honored
much.
to be here with all of you.
Hey, John, that was so much fun. They are hilarious. And what did you think about the questions? They were sure very interested in learning about your dogs.
Oh, yes, they were. I mean, who isn't interested in learning about Mickey and Macy? I mean, no, they asked some fun questions, and we really want to thank Jocelyn and Ron for taking time out of their busy schedules to sit with us and give us all of this really cool and brand new information, not only for ourselves, but for the amazing listeners who go out there and all the amazing Roosevelt's insiders. And so now we can be our best, we can make up our own best styles. And so when we're out to sea or at Antarctica or at a meetup, we can always make sure we are looking our absolute best.
Indeed. You said it better than I could have said it. So that's going to do it for this episode of Where Mighty Things. Please give us a like and subscribe here on YouTube. Of course, you can always drop us an email, wearablefandom@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Got an idea for a show, a thought, a 20 spot to get on the show for 10 minutes? Let us know at wearablefandom@gmail.com. That's the place to talk to us. And as always, until next time,
Where
mighty
things.
So long, everybody.
So long.